Hi everyone, Aziz is here. Welcome to the new tutorial, and today we're going to talk about a really interesting function that we have in the Magic Queue that a lot of people are not aware of, or how it works, or how to make it work. And after today's tutorial, you will know how to do it in the best way. What I'm talking about is if you are a theater user, or whether you're working on the you're actually touring with a band and you're using a lot big queue stacks, whether it's a time-coded queue stack or normal queue stack, I'm sure from time to time you caught yourself in a situation where you jump around the queue stack, and then you're going, especially when you're going back the queues, you will find yourself with the artifacts or some of the LTP values of the future queues. This is what I'm talking about. So I have a basic queue stack. When my first queue, all the lights in red, spots, all the lights in red, front stage, fan, and yeah, so you can see them at full. So, but if I go, let's say, to the queue number 5, so if you want to jump queue number 5, you select the number 5 here, press enter, it jumps there, or you can type 5, press go to queue. Okay, now you're in the queue number 5. Let's go back to the queue number 1. So I select 1 and go back. So here's the problem, as you can see clearly. The fixtures, same spots, they've got all the lights in the same red, same position, same fan, everything's correct, except for the gobo information that remained from the queue number 5. And this is a problem, because if you need to jump, or the director tells you, show us the next queue, or go back 2 queues before, what you want to get is, you want to see the picture, the one that you actually stored. This is the picture you want to see. So there's several methods to do it. Of course, you can record all the things, information, the entire queue, entire state into the playback. However, if you're working with the whole queue stack and you already have it, how to fix it in a way so when you jump around, you're actually not going to have any problems with recalling the full state. You also, like in my case, as you can see here, I've got also full HTTP and LTP tracking. So that means if I go through step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, now at the end, all the information been tracked through, so even from the first queue. So if I select the second queue, press go, you will see I have a lot of artifacts still remaining. Everything is on. So that's not what you want. And I'm sure by jumping on a Q2, you would like to see exactly how you expect to see the Q2. Again, there's a couple of methods to do it. As I said, I believe I mentioned before, you can save the whole state, you can record all the active information at zeros and everything. That's a long-winded process. I'll show you a quick trick how to fix it and make your queue stacks and time-coded queue stacks and everything always perfect. Okay, so here we go. So a special function that makes it all magic happen in the Magic Queue, it's called jump to queue state. So I'll show you where it is. So if you take a queue stack, triple click, go to advanced, and it says recalculate state on jumps. Okay, it's simple. If you select it, you press help, it actually tells you recalculate. This option specifies how Magic Queue calculates the state when playing back a queue stack, and it's a really powerful function that, as far as I know, not every other console on the market supports that fully. But again, it's just, this is what I heard at least. So if you switch this one on, it will not straight away works for you at the best way you expect. But let me show you a little trick that will make your life absolutely easy. So the trick is, in the beginning of the whole queue stack, okay, in the very beginning, in the very first queue, like the one that I've created here, the trick that I missed here would be, if I select my lights that first time I'm using, and I'll be using them in the queue stack. So every time you're using the lights in the queue stack, okay, press locate. Start from the locate point. Because what you actually doing is, you actually specifying all the values, whether it's a, don't worry about whether it's a group queues or not. I'll just turn off the group queues, so you'll see that I'm actually using, whether it's group queues or not, it works the same way. So when you start, press locate. Then do the position, do the colors, the very same look that you've created, you store it. Okay, so we go with record here. Now I can press clear, and then I go, for example, second queue, third queue. They're basic. So I'm trying to recreate, do the similar thing. No, sorry, this was this queue. And let's say I'm going to do the last queue, this one, of the parkends. Then I'm going to use the washers, as we had before, in red. And I'm going to store it. And the last queue is going to be my, again, spots. Now, I don't need to use them with a locate. I use just channels that I need. Why? Because I already put the very first queue, very first time you're using these slides, I put them in allocate values, so they know they have to have everything off except for the channels I need to use. Then I go to this look, and I apply a gobo. Okay, so now I select that, press clear, double click, create this to be a queue stack. So this is my queue stack now. And then I go back into the advanced options, and I turn on that function to recalculate. Sorry, yes, it's here. You click here and says recalculate on state on jumps. So this gives you the tooltip, actually gives you the information what it does. So let's do it now. I don't actually need to press locate anymore. So you go first queue, here's your first look. You go second look, you go third look, fourth look, fifth look, and sixth look. And let's go jump to the first queue. You select it, press enter, and voila, you actually get the state you expect it to be in. So this is how it works, amazingly easy. Then you can do the full tracking. Let's type H and L to put the HTTP and LTP tracking. Okay, we can start from the beginning. So first queue, second queue, third queue, fourth queue, fifth, and sixth. Okay, so you can see this whole gibberish, everything is on the screen because obviously I switched on the tracking, but this is it is just an example. So if I go back and I go to the queue number 2, boom, it calculates only the Q1 and only the Q2. So it always calculates from the beginning downwards, so the up, like all the steps upwards. So from first up until last one. So in this case, you don't need to worry anymore about any problems you may have with the recalculating state incorrectly. Again, the trick is always first time you're using the lights in the queue stack, always start them from the locate values. So the magic key can always refer to the locate values when it recalculates from the beginning. And there you go. You can see it's easy peasy to set it up, and you're always going to have a perfect result. It's super useful when you're doing especially as I said, the theater, or you're touring with a time code the timeline shows. This will save your life. I mean, this will save your time, and you don't need to worry about the states when you're jumping around. So there you go. So this is the first thing, and in my teaser I showed you the something that I will show you how to make in the slow switching on. So when you raise the fader, you'll turn on the light step by step, and you push it back, you can actually go back with this. This was actually a task given to me by one of the users, and I couldn't make it before until I realized that I could make with this function. So without further ado, let me show you how I did it. So first of all, I've used just first 5 fixtures. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the trick is you set them at 0 first, so these 5 lights I'll be using in my example. Okay, so in the first queue you need to give them the very first state, that the state is going to be used as a reference. So I put them at 0%. So as you can see here, they're all at 0%, and after that I will select just the first fixture, and I will set it at full. Okay, so now you can see only the first one at 100%, the rest of the lights are at 0. So then I will select and I save this. After that, you can press clear. So from that moment onwards, all you have to do is just to select the lights one by one. So in the second queue, I will select only one light. I'll press locate, it doesn't matter for me because it's just a dimmer, and I'll record second queue, clear. Third queue, locate, record, here, clear. Fourth queue, locate, record, fourth queue, and fifth queue, locate, record this here. Okay, so now I did that. I can double click, convert it into the queue stack. Okay, that's important. Then after that, I switch on HL, so it's a HTTP and LTP values. So for me, the most important is going to be here HTTP. And the last thing I will do, so if I do it now, obviously it will turn on and you'll have to go through step by step. But as you remember, I did a tutorial showing there's a function in the fader option called fader jumps to queue step. Say yes. Okay, so if you start going through, it turns on, but on the way back, it doesn't work correctly. So in order to fix it, what you do is you go here and you say recalculate state on jumps. And now, as we use the fader up, it goes all the way all steps up. Sorry. And then you move fader back. It goes because I forgot to switch off in the fader controls fader controls HTTP, it has to be off. No. So now, as I raise my fader, it goes all the way up, and I move back, and they go back. You can do the same things with anything you want, but this is especially was really hard to achieve with the dimming intensity. Before I couldn't figure out until I remembered that option. So as you can see, it works amazingly easy. So I hope that was easy, and now you know how to do it. So now all your time-coded queue stacks and all your timelines and your theater queue stacks should be working perfectly. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you very much and have a lovely day. Bye-bye.